Don Brown, Vice President of Marketing and Innovation for True Temper Sports.
David Barker, I'm the Vice President of Engineering and Product Development for grips at True Temper Sports.
With a 100-year legacy of manufacturing some of the best golf equipment in the world, we thought now was a great time to bring our expertise and performance to the grip space. Man, it's hard to believe it's been over 3 years since we first sat down and had a few cocktails and I believe some meatballs and started talking about this whole grip adventure. What have the last 3 years been like for you having to build this thing from the ground up?
It's been really exciting. It's been a challenge. We've been through a lot of different prototypes. We've tried to learn a lot, but I think where we arrived at is something really, really good.
I know it's been a pain working with all of us. You know, we're all avid golfers, and you bring a grip in and you give it to 5 of us and you get 5 different opinions from this is great, I want to put on my clubs now, to this thing is terrible, it's the wrong size, there's too much traction, not enough traction. When you're dealing with something like grip, that's all really subjective feel. The robot's not going to tell us how good this grip is. How do you navigate that feedback and try to create something that is got such a subjective output to it?
It is really hard sometimes to cut through all the noise of different opinions. I think as golfers, we're all very particular in what we like and what we don't like. So I think going into grips, you have to know that that's going to be the case. I think what we've developed is something that can meet the mass market for a lot of different people and is going to feel better than what they currently play.
So we know that there's a couple grips on tour that are all pretty similar to one another that have been popular and dominant for decades now. So we've had to go with this kind of philosophy of the same but better. So when you've been working on the designs for that, how do you approach that where we know if we make something that's too far off the mark, players aren't going to like it because there's a comfort zone with grips, while trying to make something that's also going to perform for them better than what they currently have?
Getting someone to switch their grips is a very difficult thing to do. It's the one spot where you actually touch the club. It's the one place where you have the feel, the feedback of what's going on. So I think what we've tried to do is improve on what's there without changing it too much. I think by providing more traction to people in a shape and a size that they're comfortable with a compound that's similar but much improved from what's currently out there, I think it's a very easy transition for someone to go from what they're currently playing to what the new grip, the Icon, is, which is an improvement on that.
So we've obviously been through dozens, if not hundreds of prototypes, and it's been this bounce back and forth from, okay, we're going to try this firmer compound, but when we cut the new perforation pattern and it's so deep that it makes it feel soft, and we back off the perforation and change the compound and now it feels too firm. Talk a little bit about how we have to balance the perforation pattern against the compound to get a grip that actually feels good, because you can have a good perforation pattern, you can have a good compound, but when you combine them together, you end up with a bad grip.
Everything in the rubber industry is related. So how the grip is molded, how it's made, how it's developed, all plays a role in how it feels. So I think what we've learned over this process is even minute differences that we didn't think would make a big difference in the compound or in the feel of the grip have actually played a big role in shaping how we develop the grip. So I think by marrying those two together, we've come up with something that is exactly how we want it to feel based on hundreds of iterations of that.
So obviously, we built this factory from the ground up. The QA room we're sitting in right now was a pile of dirt, 4 years ago. We built this brand new factory, and you've been able to go out and buy all new equipment and all new molds and a new mold machining technique. What does that mean for the final quality of our grip, that we're starting from the ground up as opposed to maybe starting with some equipment that was already industry standard? How have we improved upon that?
Yeah, I think one of the most exciting parts of the process is that starting from the ground up, because we could do what we wanted. We were not limited or had to compromise in any way on the equipment that we bought or the tooling that we made. I think sometimes when you start with existing processes or existing equipment, you're handcuffed by what that technology can do. We've been able to completely develop our own way of making tooling, our own way of manufacturing, so that we can produce the most consistent grips each and every time.
So you were just out at a tour event last week. Obviously, we got a couple guys to put it in play the first week. What was some of the feedback you had from some of the best players in the world?
I think the initial feedback we got from a lot of the players and a lot of the reps out there representing other OEM companies is that, wow, that feels really good. I think it was a very consistent feel from something they've been used to kind of feeling, but they all said, wow, that has a lot more traction than what we're used to kind of feeling out here. And they said it was a really good cross between something that doesn't have much traction and something really abrasive. So we kind of hit that middle of the road where you're getting the feedback and the feel and the traction of a grip without that abrasion and harshness of maybe something with a little bit more, a deeper pattern or a little bit more aggressive design.
So one of the first things people notice when they pick up an Icon, one of the first things I noticed was there's just a lot more perforations or the features on the grip than you see on a lot of traditional grips. Why is that important, and what does that do that makes Icon perform better than some of the other grips in the market?
With the added perforations and the design of the IX pattern, we really increased the traction on the grip. So what that's going to give the player is a lot more consistent feel. The grip won't slip in your hands. It'll perform really well in wet weather conditions because that pattern will wick the moisture away from the surface of the grip and allow you to maintain consistent control of the club head with that grip.
So obviously we're starting with a black molded rubber grip, which, while maybe not exciting to a lot of people, is still what the dominant number of better players use out there. What do you expect to come out of the True Temper Grip Factory in the next 2 years, 5 years, 10 years?
Our goal is to build the True Temper grip brand into the dominant grip brand in the golfing industry. We plan to expand our product line to offer multiple sizes, multiple different tapers, and eventually get into corded grips and multicolored grips as well.
People at home that don't know this, we call you Laser Dave because not only you're an avid golfer, you're an extremely accurate golfer. You play to near scratch. How excited are you to have your own grip that you've designed from the ground up to put on your Dynamic Golds and go out and play with every weekend?
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, I'm definitely really excited to play a grip that I designed. I think it was designed not only for the better player in mind, but I think everybody who plays that grip will get the benefit of improved traction and feel.
You played with me, you know I can't get out of a bunker to save my life. Is Icon going to help that?
Probably not.
No, all right, damn.
I think we need to work on some technique, but we'll get there.